Oh shit. Yo, what's going on everybody? It's the Flying Pig here on Flying Pig United with another cheeky little video for you lads and lasses. Happy lunchtime everyone. I am back here to discuss the latest Manchester United news of the morning and the day. The last few days of this transfer window, we'll be trying to get on here as often as we possibly can to discuss the latest news. And when there is any updates to bring you, we'll be bringing you them on this channel. So that's the idea with this one. We're on a little bit earlier than usual to discuss the latest happenings and goings on. Oh, yes. Thank you very much for joining us, everybody. I hope you're all doing well. How are you today? Let's have a look who's in here. Shout out to everyone in the live chat. Duke of Rodtown, Berber, your legend, Matthew Smith, Aaron getting in here. What's happening? Malps. Phil Berry, hello bro, Key Bomb, get in there, Francois, Scoojo, Jim, Lord PlayStation, David Watkins, Kyle Smith, how you going there, James Smith, Ronster, Harry, Pete Morris as well, Johnny M. Yes, indeed. We've also got the legend that is Tommy Boyle in here. And everybody else as well. You know, thank you very much for joining us and getting in here for today's show. Appreciate you. Do us a favour at the start of this one. Smash that like button on it. Give us a massive thumbs up at the start of this show. That'd be epic. Drop a little like on it. You know it makes sense. And share it around on the social medias. You can give us a retweet. The link is pinned at the top of the live chat. We'll shout you all out later on. Everyone who does that. But big up yourselves, everyone. Hope you're having a great day. We will discuss all the latest news and goings on right now at this football club. It is a little bit of a frustrating end to this transfer window for Manchester United. In fact, it's generally been a bit of a frustrating 18 years of transfer windows for Manchester United with those Glazer shithouses at the wheel. We are Monitor FC, aren't we? We are Inquiry FC. We just make a load of inquiries on a load of players and very rarely actually back up those inquiries. It's gash-tastic. But we will cover all the latest bits and bobs of news we've got over this next sort of 45 minutes to an hour or so. So strap yourselves in. We're going to go in there raw. Yes, drop the likes on it. Thank you, Stephanie. Let's get 100 likes on this show. And of course, if you are new to the channel, subscribe. We're on here daily with the United news. We'll be back on tonight with the evening updates as well. We cover all the news in a no bullshit fashion. And you do need to be subscribed to chat as well. If you want to get involved with the live chat, then have your say, please do. We're dipping in and out of the live chat throughout. Right, let's talk about the main sort of news headlines of the day. It's like looking likely that maybe Manchester United are looking at Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. Oh, Danish friends. Danish friends for Højlund here. You know what I mean? We got the Hoy. Oh, Hoy there. We got Højlund. Now we're looking for Højbjerg. So, you know, it looks like there maybe is a little bit of truth to this situation. Let's have a look at the updates. Ooh, Danish friends. Let's take a look. So, Højbjerg is apparently being discussed by Manchester United at this moment in time. There are talks on at the minute. So, there is some breaking news earlier on today, you know, from various outlets, Sky Sports and other outlets reporting that Manchester United have started talks with Tottenham and Pierre-Emile Højbjerg's side over a possible deal. Spurs want around £35 million, seeing as United are a Premier League rival. Oh, I don't know how I feel about this one, guys. I mean, actually, I do think he's a pretty decent player. I don't think he's as bad as a lot of people are making him out. I think he's a pretty decent acquisition. But again, it's classic Manchester United not going the whole hog and doing what we should be doing to go and get the very best players in the world. Nobody's thinking that Højbjerg's a worldie or anything. He's a good player, and I think perhaps he could fit in with our transfer, with our sort of philosophy of what Ten Hag's doing, signing the right sort of players. Maybe if you look at what we do need a defensive midfielder. That's what we need. So in terms of the style of player that he is, yeah, okay. It maybe makes a bit of sense. But in terms of the stature of the player and the overall abilities of the player, is he a world beater? No, he's not. No, he's absolutely not. But is he a good player? Yes. Has he got Premier League experience? Yes. Does he have some sort of previous with our coaching staff? Yes. Is he available right now because he's not really wanted at Spuds? I guess so, yes. But isn't that a big red flag in itself for you guys? You know, what the hell? If somebody doesn't want a player at Spurs, they must be shite. That's kind of what I'm thinking there. Obviously, look, it's not quite as simple as that. Postecoglou's got his way of playing that he's going to want to do things. If he doesn't think that Højbjerg's involved with that particular system, he's not going to get many chances. Maybe just sell him for a little bit of cash, reinvest it. I guess that makes sense. And if Ten Hag and United feel like this guy could come in and do a job for us, that's great. But you know what? You know what Roy Keane said the other day? That Manchester United are becoming the new bloody poxy Spurs side. He's absolutely right, isn't he? You know, signing players like Mason Mount, who's an alright player, don't get me wrong, but that's it, alright, not a world-class player, not a baller. Signing players like Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, if this materialises, it's not the look for Man United. We should be going for the best of the best of the best of the best, not the mediocre of the mediocre. And unfortunately, Højbjerg is a good player, but that's all he really is a good player. He's a mediocre melter, just like a lot of the rest of them. So, I would like to see United have a little bit more ambition on this one. I don't know why we haven't gone and got Sofian Amrabat. He's available for a cheap amount of money. We're just taking the piss, really, in this summer transfer window at the end of this one, particularly. Like, why are we clambering around the last few days, as always, trying to assemble some sort of mishmash squad of bargain basement signings? What a pathetic excuse for a recruitment season this has been. It's a debacle. So Spurs want around 35 million. Okay, well, we could get Sofian Amrabat for less than that. Spurs obviously rejecting this player. He's a reject. You came from the reject bin, doodah, doodah. Do we really want somebody from Spurs' reject bin? That might be the worst reject bin in all of football, actually. Spurs rejected you. Spurs don't want you. But we'll take you. You what? No thanks. But actually, as I said yesterday, I think in terms of the type of player he is, what United actually need right now is somebody to go alongside Casemiro or even play instead of Casemiro when there's issues, when there's obviously injury problems or rotation needed. Then Højbjerg makes a bit of sense because he's stylistically a good defensive-minded midfielder. We don't have enough of those. Scott McTominay, if he stays or he goes, it doesn't really matter. He's shite in terms of being a number 6. Casemiro's fantastic for us, I think, but obviously can't do it all throughout the season in every single game. You look at the other options we've got in the midfield, they're all more attack-minded players. So we definitely need somebody to come in who can play alongside Cassie or instead of Cassie. That's where Amrabat or Højbjerg might come in. I'll ask the live chat very quickly. Who would you like to see come in that midfield? Let us know in the chat. We're linked to a good few players like Gravenberch, like Amrabat, like Højbjerg. Get your thoughts in. Who would you, if you could only sign one, there can be only one midfielder this season of all the ones that we're linked to. Don't say anybody ridiculous like De Jong or something. I'm talking about who we could go and get realistically of who we're talking about. Get your thoughts in. Who would you like to see? But both decent, says United. Yeah, decent's the word, isn't it? Stephanie, thank you for the likes update. Keep hitting the likes, guys, if you just joined in the stream. Nice one. Thanks, everyone, for dropping the thumbs up. It does help the channel out. Nice one. Adam Wingfield says Amrabat. Amrabat, says Phil Berry. United we stands going Amrabat. Amrabat, says Welsh Red. Get Fred back. Amrabat, says Ian Pritch. Tommy Boyle. Gungshi. Get in there. Okay, yeah. So look, Amrabat is my choice as well. I agree with you. He seems like a very decent player, available for not a heck of a lot of money. Get Scholesy back. He could still do a job, Don Gungshi. He could still do a job, this guy. No joke. He's like a metronome in midfield. He'd still tick things over. Get him on a treadmill for a few months, and he'll be back to his best in no time. The guy's a machine. But no, in all seriousness, look, Amrabat would be nice to go and get. Are Man United actually going to go and get him? Doesn't really look like it too strongly at this moment in time. It's a disgrace and a nonsense, but that's what's going on, unfortunately. It looks like we are now leaning towards Højbjerg. We'll see if those talks can really turn into anything serious. It seems like Tottenham are interested and open to a sale of Højbjerg, and it's known that Højbjerg's camp has been talking to Manchester United about the potential of us tabling a bid. So this is what's reported anyway, that Tottenham are open to allowing Pierre-Emile Højbjerg to leave the club if suitable offers come in for him. Nothing is close at this stage amid reported interest from Man United, so there is no real official offer on the table or anything like that. But he has been offered to Manchester United from Højbjerg's side of things, essentially. Lots of updates from all outlets suggesting that he is being discussed at United right now, so we'll see. This is Dharmesh Chef from Sky Sports, who says that Manchester United continue to assess midfield options and are still looking to recruit in that area in the final few days of the window. Pierre-Emile Højbjerg has emerged as the latest potential option, with United being offered the chance to speak to the player. So we've been offered to speak to him, basically. His representatives have offered him to Manchester United. That is the situation. Does that translate to us actually going to sign him? Well, we'll see. We've got a few different days, few different options left in these final days to go and get, obviously, somebody. We could get Gravenberch, we could get Amrabat, we could get Højbjerg. As we've discussed in the live chat, most people think it's probably Amrabat would be the best shout for us, and I agree with you guys. I think he doesn't have that Premier League experience, but he's 26, he's a combative player, great passer, looks like a young Andy Tate, Not that Andy Tate. He got the job on a technicality of a legend who recommended you. You are nothing. You are a fool. And you're a waste of time. Good night. David Moyes, you are the biggest fool in Manchester. No, not that one. The other one. The bald one. So we could go and get one of the Tate brothers in here in the centre of midfield, guys, you know. But as it is, it looks like we're going for, Danish friend of Højbjerg. I guess it's good that there's another Dane. You do often see that when somebody comes in and you sign a player from a certain, nation. You do often see a couple coming along with him. We've also got Christian Eriksen there as well. Oh, Danish friends. You know what I'm saying? So there's a couple of Danish friends on the go there, which means that, well, I guess it would make sense perhaps to bring in Højbjerg. Ahoy there! To Højbjerg and Højbjerg. But it's just so uninspiring, isn't it? Look, as we've mentioned, he's a good player, but he's not a worldie. I mean, give this a rating out of 10, guys, if we sign Højbjerg for 35 million. I'll give you my honest rating now, but you get your feelings in there with your rating out of 10 if we signed him. I'm going to give you a 4 out of 10. I'll give you a 4 out of 10 for Højbjerg. It's a mundane, boring, underwhelming, mediocre, bargain basement, gastastic, ginger signing. It's really not very good, is it? I don't like it. It's average. Average at best. 3 out of 10, says Dean. Superstar Dean, yeah. Oh, yeah. -10, says Mark N. It's just not a great look. We should be going for the best of the best of the best. 5, says Ishan. 2, says Max Johnson. Travididio's going 4. 1.5, says Duke of Rodtown. 4 out of 5, says Lord PlayStatione. 1, says United 90. 3, says Horg. Jim says 3. 4, says United We Stand. Yeah, not a lot of great plans, is there, really? Berber says there's no plan at this club. Was he on the list in June? Hell no. He's been identified 2 days ago. Yeah, exactly. And more so to the fact that he's not going to be featuring a heck of a lot this season for Spurs because of Postecoglou vibes, I suppose. Obviously, last season he played a lot of games for Spurs. If you look at his stats last season, pretty decent stats. I think he contributed 9 goals in terms of assists and goals for Spurs in the Premier League last season from a central defensive midfield position. That's not bad at all. But obviously not really high up on the agenda for Postecoglou to use this season, which means that he's become available. And it's like, he's been offered to us. And we've got the option to bring him in. And so, yes, it's really just, there's no plan here at Manchester United, is there, Berber? You're spot on, 100% right. You know, we could have gone and executed our transfer plan right near the start of the window, got exactly who we wanted in early doors. We signed a few players, sure, and we did a couple of them reasonably early, but still the same old narrative is there as every single summer transfer window. Classic Glazer shithouse summer window where they are taking their good time in order to get these players and shopping around in the bargain bin. They're shopping around in the bargain bin as always, and it's a disgrace. Well, let's just hope that come the end of the window in 2 or 3 days' time when we're talking about this after deadline day, we do actually get somebody good in here. You know, somebody good. We don't want average players. We want somebody good. Let's hope that it all works out for the best and these are just links. Gangshi says the prospect of signing these average melters is killing my loins pig, not so much as a tingle. Oh, dude. It's like some sort of a numbing ointment, isn't it, for the loins, this one, Gangshi? It's like taking some sort of, antidepressant, mate, that basically kills your love spuds. You know what I'm saying? This is what this is. You need an antidepressant just being a United fan, to be honest, at this stage, lad. But you're absolutely right. There's no chance of any tingling sensation going on down there with these signings, mate. Oh, no. Oh, no. You can't rev up an engine with these signings, mate. Absolutely not. These are rubbish. But in terms of, like, who we're linked to, loads of different links, of course. Let's have a look at this. So this is via Statman Dave, who's just compiled a list on social media. And these are all the players that we've been linked to just in the last few days alone. Who says that in the last few days, Man United have been linked with Marc Cucurella, Sergio Reguilon, Marcus Alonso, Leonardo Spinazzola, Rico Henry, Nicolas Tagliafico, Ryan Gravenberch, Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, Sofian Amrabat. Who were they signed in the last few days? Fucking hell! We're linked to all these players, and we haven't actually got in and acquired properly or bid or anything for any of these guys. I mean, I can see us getting none of those players, to be honest. You know, that's the sort of club we are. We're inquiring for everybody, and we don't actually follow through on hardly anybody. It's a disgrace. What a great comment. Yes, Tommy Boyle. 100% Tommy Boyle. Smash a 1 in the live chat if you agree with Mr. Tommy Boyle. I agree with you, lad. 100%. Why the fuck would we not go and try and get Palhinha if we're on about spending significant amount of cash on a midfielder? Palhinha, he's the one. He's the one, mate. I completely agree with you, bud. He's playing for a bang average mid-table side at best. He would relish the opportunity of playing for Manchester United. He's built like a big shithouse and tackles like one. You know, he's a fucking machine in the defensive midfield area. Somebody to go alongside Cassie. Somebody to play instead of Cassie. He would be absolutely fantastic. The only problem is he's going to cost a lot more than Højbjerg or Sofyan Amrabat. And Man United are bargain basement shoppers, mate. We don't necessarily want to go in there and, spend significant amount of money, 50, 60 million pounds, and it might take even more maybe, to go and get Palhinha from Fulham, because we are complete crumble jobs financially, even though we shouldn't be. We should be the most powerful club in the world. But we're not because of the Glazer shithouses. But maybe, I don't know, let's hope that there's some sort of possibility of selling a shotty colostomy bag, McTominay, and getting some money from him. Maybe we could do something crazy like that. Maybe you could even do a cheeky bit of business in the opposite direction. But I completely agree with you. The amount of money shouldn't be the problem here. We should just go and get the players that best suit us in the Premier League and are most proven and actually will give us the opportunity to play really good stuff and challenge for the title and win trophies and be a good team again. Not just, who's available for the right price. Let's be bargain shoppers, you know what I'm saying? It's a fucking joke, man. You know, I feel like Manchester United are playing Supermarket Sweep with Dale Winton at the moment, you know? And they're just like, I don't know, they're going around, they've got the shopping trolley there, and they're just putting any old shit in there without thinking. They're just like, let's go to the fucking Justice Central section and bang in some £1 custard creams or whatever. You know, like, hang on, no, get yourself down the fucking electronics aisle and get yourself a high-end Sony fucking, Sony sound system or something. Think about it. Get the best that you can. Don't just get the cheapest of the cheap shite that you can get. It's unbelievable, isn't it? So I agree. We should be trying to get the best of the best, but we're not. Exactly, Berber. From Harrods to Neto, we are fucked. From Harrods to Neto. Goodness me, absolutely, dude. You're absolutely spot on. What a great comment. It's true. We used to shop around in Harrods. Man United used to have the pick of the bunch. We could just go to the Spurs and take their best player or whoever we wanted to. We could have the pick of the bunch. Basically the equivalent of Michael Jackson going there back in the day and closing down the store to go and shop around. And we just go, yeah, we want that one and that one. We'll have that one. We'll have that one. Crikey, now we're shopping at the food bank. Now Marcus Rashford has to feed us. You know what I'm saying? It's a fucking joke. So, yeah, that's it, really. We've just got a lot of work to do between now and the end of the window to sign a midfielder to improve that midfield. We should have gone and got Sofyan Amrabat a long time ago. We haven't done. Now it seems that we've turned our attention to someone else. I don't know why. Perhaps Sofyan Amrabat still will happen. He is obviously a player that I would want and a lot of people would want. But for some reason, it doesn't seem like we're really truly progressing on that deal too much. There's nothing else new that I want to talk about Amrabat. We've got lots of other transfer news to discuss today, but none of it's really going to be too much about Amrabat because the Amrabat situation is exactly the same. He's just waiting. He'll probably end up going to Galatasaray or somebody else because United's inability to actually do some sort of a business. It seems like we're trying to sell players. I mean, this sort of report infuriates me. Look at this. I mean, look, this could just be speculative stuff. But based on the fact that we did reject an offer from West Ham for 30 million, it's probably true. Look at this absolute Glazer shithousery right here. So Jay Burt from The Telegraph reporting that Manchester United have quoted £45 million to interested clubs for Scott McTominay. Oh, for fuck's sake, mate. You what? Oh, my goodness me. Here's a piece of gold-encrusted turd. Freshly laid from a large stallion in the field. Would you like to buy this freshly laid turd for £7,000? No, you wouldn't, would you? Because it's fucking turd. And nobody spends £7,000 on turd. The same as nobody spending £45 million on Scott McTominay. The guy's an absolute bottle bank of a player. So because of that, you know, it's just too much money, guys, and that's not going to convince teams to go and sign Scott McTominay. We're not going to get 45 million smackaroonies for Scotty McShotomy. What are we thinking? So if that's the case, I think we're just pricing him out of a move. We've already priced him out of a move once this summer by not allowing him to go to West Ham. It's a debacle. So, look, if we can get him for a good amount of money, get gone out of the football club, i.e. 30 million quid, then that's good money to reinvest in a good player. Precisely, Gungshi. Gungshi says the most he's worth is 20 to 30 million for fuck's sake. Based on abilities, based on talent, based on, consistent performances in the league over the last 4 years or so, he is worth a 30 million max. Okay, he's got that international pedigree playing with Scotland, if that's what you want to call it. Pedigree playing for Scotland doesn't often come in the same sentence. But you know what I mean? He does play for Scotland. He is good for Scotland. He's a big player for Scotland. But that's kind of like being a big player for San Marino, isn't it? You know what I mean? It's like, okay, yeah, I am a big player for San Marino, but who gives a shit? You know what I'm saying? So, yes, he's got a little bit of pedigree, I suppose, there on the international stage. But, look, he's obviously just an average sort of a guy. Yeah, first-class gamer, how you doing, my son? He says he's a squad player. He's a squad player for any top Premier League side. I think if he was going to go to West Ham, he would probably end up being a squad player. I don't see him getting in there necessarily ahead of what they got right now. And most teams he would go to in the top flight, he'd probably just be a squad player. But the difference is he should not be a squad player even at Man United. We should have better quality and better depth than that. If you want to compete with the best teams around, you need to have good depth and quality. Look at City's side, for instance. They've got strength in spades. We don't have that. Lord PlayStation, thank you, bro. He says we've got 82 likes, nearly 100 likes. That's awesome. We've got 254 people watching and only 82 likes. You what? What's your name? Scott McTominay or something? Smash that like button, you underperformer. Hit the thumbs up on it if you haven't done so, guys. Take a second to give us a like spike. That will help this channel. And it boosts us up the algorithm. It gives us a cheeky little push. It's free. Twat the thumbs up. You might as well, guys. Drop a little like on it. Share us around as well. We'll shout you out later. Everyone who gives us a retweet, etc. Nice one. Yeah, make sure you drop a like on it and smash the subscribe button, guys. We're close. Getting on now for 74,000 subscribers, guys. We're getting there. Look at that. We're creeping up in terms of subscribers. Oh, yes. So hit the subscribe button if you're new and smash that like button on it. Yes, sirree. Yes, sirree. Thank you so much. So look, in terms of the amount of money, I do feel like we're just pricing Scott McTominay out of the move here. He's 30 million max. We should have accepted West Ham's offer and then we could have gone and invested and probably gone and bought another midfielder by now. And we wouldn't be scraping around in the bargain bin at the end of the transfer window. So it's our own fault, really. We were too greedy when that offer for Scott McTominay came in from West Ham. It was gilt-edged. And from one melter who West Ham wanted to another, let's discuss it. Slabby Maguire. Slabby Maguire. Our defence is terrified. Yes, Slabby Maguire. Our defensive terrified if this fucking guy stays. Because goodness me, own goals galore if this guy ever plays for us. He's an absolute shatter. Let's talk about it though. So it's now reported, guys, that West Ham have left the race for Harry Maguire. Oh, come on. It just gets shitter and shitter, doesn't it, this, guys? Hang on, let me pop that back up on the screen. It just gets shitter and shitter. Yes, indeed, Travis and Danny. Let's get some gash emojis in there, absolutely. So, Fabrizio Romano reporting that West Ham have decided to leave the race for Harry Maguire as things stand. After trying again, but getting no green light from Manchester United. He's no longer on West Ham's list at this stage. What race? Exactly, what race? There's got to be more than one person involved in a race. In fact, the word race and Harry Maguire has never been used in the same sentence. He is not a speed merchant at all. You couldn't use the word race. You couldn't suggest that Maguire is ever in a race or anything. The guy's shite. I bet he finished last in the bloody egg and spoon race at school when he was 5, the twat. You know what I'm saying? I bet he did. I bet he was the type of guy who's like, just dropping it every 2 seconds. It wouldn't surprise me, that guy. To be fair, it must have been the case because he's got a very unstable, large slab on his shoulders, and surely that would put him off balance. He's not going to be running either that, or he's a cheating bastard who puts the old thumb over the top of the spoon in the egg, mate, so it doesn't fall off. You know what I'm saying? So, anyway, guy's a complete melter. But reported by Fab that West Ham are out of the race to sign him. Crikey. Why? Why have we done this? Why has this happened? Harry Maguire, pack your bags, my son. Step into my office. Why? Because you're fucking fired, my friend. Why the hell is this guy still here? It's so frustrating, but now it seems that there's not even a destination to go to in the Premier League right now. It's very unlikely anybody's going to have him. It seemed like yesterday West Ham were maybe still interested in him, pushing for him because of the fact that it could have been a loan capacity. United, I understand why maybe United don't want to just let him go out on loan because we're trying to raise money for another player to come in like a Jean-Claude Todibo. If we're going to lose Maguire with the threadbare defenders we've got, then we kind of do need to replace him with another defender, don't we? But without that, it's hard to really let him go and justify it with not being able to get a big bit of cash in return and then reinvest that. So I understand maybe not wanting to let him go out on loan, particularly not with a big fee. But it seems like West Ham know that they cannot get any agreement in place with United because Maguire's asking for too much cash. He wants too much money for his, for his settlement, so to speak, for Man United to even let him go and for him to go and play for West Ham for less money. He wants a big payday. Because of that, Man United couldn't agree a fee with him. He was asking for too much. And that means that the only real option for West Ham, I suppose, it's beyond their control then. The only real option for West Ham would be to try and loan him. It seems like United have blocked that. And now, because of that, West Ham are out of the race. They know there's no real possibility of bringing in Harry Maguire. I mean, I think if they really wanted him, they could just pay a little bit more, like 35 million. And then we could just put that 5 million on top of the Slabo, settlement and get him gone. He's only got a few years left on his deal. To make up the difference, it would be a few million a year. So you're talking about having to give this guy a 9 million quid golden handshake or something just for him to fuck off. And he obviously doesn't want to do that because he's a really Billy Big Bollocks defender, mate. He basically looks in the mirror. He doesn't see the slab that we see. When he looks in the mirror, he sees Paolo Maldini looking back at him, this twat. And he reckons he's one of the best, apparently. That's why he doesn't want to go and play for West Ham. No, he's holding out for Real Madrid or Barcelona to come in for him, this guy. You know, he doesn't want to go and play for a mid-table side, even though that's the best that he could possibly do. Maguire should be thrown in prison. He should be in a Mykonos jail cell right now, my friend. No, in all seriousness, it's not about his off-the-field stuff. It's like, in my humble opinion, he's just not quite cut out for United, and he should realise that he is just a hindrance now at the club. We should be trying to move him on, and he should be willing to go. Unfortunately, he's greedy, like a lot of these modern-day footballers, just too greedy, sucking at the foamy teat of Manchester United. He's nothing better than a Glazer shithouse, this guy. Matthew Smith, thank you very much for the gifted membership there. I appreciate you, lad. Come on. Guys, let's get your cheeky little Sues in the chat there for him. Thank you for gifting out a membership on the channel, Matty Smith, lad. Go on. Love the Glazers out vibes. Thank you for always supporting the show. That's very kind of you. Thank you very much, Matthew Smith. He's gifted the membership and it's gone to Compost Smurf. Compost Smurf has got it. Thank you so much indeed there, Compost Smurf. I do appreciate it, lad. Matthew Smith, I do appreciate you gifting Compost Smurf the membership and gifting a membership on the channel. That is absolutely raw. Welcome aboard there, Compost Smurf, courtesy of Mr. Matty Smith, lads. Nice one. Appreciate that. Right, yeah. So, look, Maguire. Looks like we're stuck with him. As a backup, as a sixth choice centre-back, he's going to be helping Doris in the old tea room, making brews for everyone. He's also going to be helping the kit man wash some clothes and stuff like that, and that's cool. We're going to put him to good use, you know. We'll be helping Pete the janitor mop up some sick after training and that kind of thing, and obviously Harry Maguire will be put to use, but he's going to be a very expensive handyman, this guy, on £200,000 a week, this guy. So look, it's end of the road for Harry Maguire at United, but he doesn't realise that, and he's still hanging on like a Klingon on the arsehole of the football club. See you later on. Right, anyway, we'll get into the live chat for a minute. Just a couple of comments, read a couple of comments about anything we discussed real quick now. You think Maguire will go on a free? Crikey. Well, he's got 2 years left on a deal, and I think there's an option for an extra year from our side. I don't doubt we will we'll trigger that, of course. But, yeah, I could see him just collecting 10 million a year for the next 2 years and then fucking off on the free and retiring and doing a Phil Jones. I could see that, because he's just getting paid so much money, and it's clear at this stage by the fact that he turned down West Ham, doesn't really care about playing regularly. He would have got very regular football at United, and if he actually thinks that he can fight his way back into Manchester United side, he's deluded. He's absolutely deluded. I mean, I guess the Varane injury, and he knows Varane's injury prone, and I guess he probably will play a bit. You know, he will play a bit if he stays, but we could quite easily go and get somebody else better for the money we'd receive from Harry Maguire. Our depth and team are so weak, my optimism has just completely gone. I predict between 6th and 8th finish. Well, that's filth, J United. I don't even want to think about that right now. I'm still predicting top 3, but actually I'll ask the live chat, where do you think we'll finish? But obviously it does depend on what we do over the next few days as well. We'll get 15 mil for Slabo in January, says Compost Smurf. Yeah, Kate Cadet, I'm live at lunchtime, I know, mate. Just come on here, lad. Just with an update with all the latest stuff going on. Bit of an early one for me, eh? But, you know, that's what we do. Dutch Christ, thanks for getting in here with a super chat, Dutch Christ. How are you doing? He says, Højbjerg is the new mount. The melt flop clop job. Dutch Christ, I know. What does that really say? We've gone and signed a Chelsea reject. We've gone and signed a Spurs reject. Holy shit. What's next? We're going to go and sign buddy Nicolas Pepe or something. You know, what is next? How can it get any worse? I think Højbjerg's actually a decent sort of a player, but I use the word decent to mean decent. It doesn't mean fantastic. I think he's a decent sort of a player, but no, I agree. It's just not good enough from United, is it? It's really not good. Yeah, exactly, Claire. Cringing links at the moment. Cringe signings. We'll finish within the top 10 easy, says Gungshi. 6 says First Class. 6 says Flip. 4th at best. 8th at worst, says the Cape Cadet. 4th or 5th. Eric will grind out wins. Indeed, he would be a great signing, Matthew Smith. I have to say, I think he would be just exactly what we're looking for. 6th to 7th without Amrabat and Leonardo. 6th as Steve Hall. Hey, we smashed 100 likes. Get in there, everyone. Thanks for dropping a thumbs up. Tommy says 5th or 6th squad depth will let us down with being in the Champions League. That's a great shout as well. 3rd or 4th from what I've seen. Chelsea have no European football, and that's an advantage. Yeah, that's a very good point also. Even Spurs look better this year so far under Postecoglou. I mean, wouldn't it be funny if the season that Harry Kane leaves, they've been shite for a decade with Harry Kane at the football club, and then he fucks off to Bayern Munich, and then Spurs actually kick on and do some good stuff this season, maybe win a trophy. How hilarious would that be? I mean, I don't want Spurs to do well, but wouldn't it be kind of hilarious if it turned out that that Harry Kane was the complete melter at the top for Spurs? He was holding them back. I mean, wouldn't that be so funny? The moment Kane goes, they are actually successful. I doubt it. Look, Postecoglou's had a very good start at his time at Spurs, but they're still absolute melters. But anyway, you can't get rid of that melt mentality overnight. Højbjerg over Mount and Ericsson with Casemiro, says Chris Barker. Interesting. That's quite interesting. They need a centre forward. Yes, indeed. Spurs flattering to deceive. We should have been 3-0 up. Yeah, I agree with that. If we actually had finishers, we would have been 2 or 3-0 up at half-time. It's not fair to judge how we're playing without Højlund in the side, says the Cape Cadet. Do you know what, Cape Cadet? Yes and no. I know what you're saying, because he's our big money forward signing that we should be going to get. And if we can actually have somebody up there who can finish these chances, like that Spurs game would have been a totally different outcome, more than likely. But also, it's on United, it's on the owners, it's on Ten Hag, it's on the recruitment, it's on everybody to actually give United the squad depth that we need to not leave us up shit creek without a paddle when there's 1 or 2 injury problems. And we don't have that squad depth, we don't have the quality there. So yeah, okay, I see what you're saying. It's not fair necessarily to judge us without Højlund, but we should have a couple of forward options up there. We shouldn't just be relying now on Rashford and Martial and Sancho playing the deputy role for Højlund because Højlund's out injured. We should have had somebody else as well who's a proper number 9, proper goal scorer, a bit of depth, bit of quality. Why not? But unfortunately we haven't. So I say yes and no to that. I know what you're saying, but at the same time, we should have some better qualities behind him to play. Jose probably make a last-minute bid for Scott, he says Matthew Smith. I hope so, pal. I hope so. There's still links with Scott McTominay to Bayern Munich, of course. It's understood that Tuchel's interested in bringing him in as an option in that midfield, and because of the sort of stature of the club that it is, maybe that would be an interesting move for Scott McTominay. So, look, but would they be prepared to bid what we want for him? There is still obviously that swap deal being talked about with Gravenberch. I suppose that would increase the likelihood, even if it's just a 1-season straight swap for a loan of a season, then that might suit both sides. So I could see that happening. I don't think Scotty's got very many plans in a United side. The only concern I have with that is, yeah, Ten Hag's got this history with Gravenberch, but Gravenberch seemingly doesn't want to stay at Bayern because he's like 4th choice mid, and he's just not going to really get that much game time. Well, surely if he came to Manchester United, he'd be 4th choice mid at best, because we've got, of course, Mr. Cassie, Bruno, Mount, and I guess we need somebody who could play alongside Casemiro and stuff, but he wouldn't exactly be playing every single week at Man United either, I don't think. He would just be a part of the squad. So I'm not so sure if he would actually want to do that, but who knows? Right, we're going to move on to the latest transfer news about the left-back situation now, guys. So United are obviously looking at bringing in a left-back. Erik ten Hag's understandably interested in bolstering his options there because of injury concerns. Don't know if you heard the news about Malacia earlier on today. I saw some stuff going around social media to suggest that he's going to be out for a lot longer than initially thought, which is why United are looking at different left-back options so fervently at the moment. You know, we've obviously got Luke Shaw, who's out for up to 6 weeks. Malacia, similar sort of vibes, could even be longer by all accounts from what I'm hearing. So these two players are our main left-backs. Without those two players, we are lacking in the depth and the quality overall there. Dallow's decent, Alvaro Fernandez decent, but I don't think any of them are really too seasoned and experienced playing left back. And so I think Ten Hag's looking to bring somebody in that area. Now we've got about 4 different players that are being looked at in the left back position. Let's see what Fab said about this very quickly. So Fabrizio, there was an update just to suggest that there is obviously interest from United to bring in a left back before the window shuts. He said that United are still discussing internally about the best option for a new left back. Contacts took place today again for Cucurella. Also Marcos Alonso and Reguilon remain in the list. United also called to ask for conditions on a Tagliafico deal, well known by Ten Hag. So, of course, Tagliafico, the Ajax vibes, you know. Okay, I actually always have thought Tagliafico's a pretty decent player. So there's a couple of players here. Spinazzola's another one we're linked to. There's a couple of decent options that we can bring in. Cucurella I like as well. I'll ask the chat for fun. We've got a short list of 5 players there. We've got the murderer Marcos Alonso. We've got Sergio Reguilon, Spud Melt. We've got Cucurella. And, of course, Spinazzola and now Tagliafico. Who would you rather go and get out of those? I would probably say Cucurella or Tagliafico are the ones that I like the most out of those 5. Get your thoughts in. If you could only sign one of those left-backs out of that short list of 5 players, let us know who it would be. Alonso, I can't imagine we'd get Alonso, mate. That would be a PR shitstorm for us. Yeah, Alonso or Cuca for me, says Tommy Boyle. Tagliatelli's good, says Travis. I like it too. It's tasty. Tagliafico or Cuco for me, says United. Yeah, Cook's better than nothing. I agree. Anyone but a murderer, says David Watkins. So we went from Amrabat to Højbjerg. It seems like it, Trini Red Devils, sadly. Go get Barco from Boca Juniors. Cheap, real good prospect for left back. Interesting, lad. Good shout. I like your style, Danny B, lad. Cucurella says United 90. None of these really excite me, to be honest. No, Gangshi, they're not loin tinglers, are they? They're really not loin tinglers. You'd rather recall Fernandez and play him. Kate says, if we sign Alonso, I'd like to think there's as much pushback on that signing as the Mason Greenwood scandal. That's what I would like to think as well. Like I was saying the other day, when this whole link to Marcos Alonso emerged. Okay, Marcos Alonso was given a slap on the wrist, but he did actually, fundamentally, his irresponsibility, or his irresponsible behaviour led to somebody losing their life, right? Being behind the wheel of a car whilst under the influence. You can't get away from that. Like, we can't go from somebody who's only alleged to have committed some sort of atrocities to somebody who actually has. You know, that doesn't make sense. We can't go and get Marcos Alonso. I think that's a big no from me, Carol. No thank you very much to Marcos Alonso, guys. Cucurella, I think, would be a good player for us. He was great at Brighton, shite at Chelsea, so was everybody else last season. I think he would be good. I think he would be a good signing. And then I like Tagliafico, and Ten Hag probably likes Tagliafico because of the previous history. So I would be up with one of those 2 players, I guess. Cucurella, Tagliafico would be nice. Mr. Marky Harris, how have you been, mate? I haven't seen you for a bit. What's going on, Marky Harris? He says, mid-table mediocrity incoming. Erik ten Hag, no in-game tactics. Bin the bum. Oh, Mark Harris getting in there raw after 3 games in the Premier League campaign, even though Ten Hag managed to clutch 3rd place in the league last season, win a League Cup, get to the FA Cup final, and generally over-exceed expectations last season. Little bit of a knee-jerk comment there, my son? Maybe. I think so. It's only 3 games in. Let's give him a chance, lad. Let's give him a chance. 3 games in, bud. He still needs help from the board to sign the right players as well and get new guys in, eh? Craw says, you mean 4th? No, we got 3rd place, lad, if you remember. We finished 3rd last season, didn't we? You've got me questioning it now. No, we finished 3rd. Yeah, we got the 3rd place. Agrippa Chinhara says, smash the like button. Thank you very much there, Agrippa Chinhara. Yes, indeed. Smash that like button on it if you haven't done so. Help us get to 200 likes. That would be immense. Drop a little like on it. You know it makes sense. Hey, Mark Harris, check it out. You're a member. Get your Frey Bentos emojis in there. We've now got a Frey Bentos emoji just for special moments like this when Luke Shaw gets a Frey Bentos related injury. That's what we've got. We've got a Frey Bentos emoji now, guys. Enjoy it. Right, so let's go through all the left backs we're looking at. So, look, that's it. That's the short list from Fab there, who says that we are desperate to bring in a left back because of injury concerns we've got with Luke and Malacia. Here's another update from Fabrizio, says that contacts took place again today regarding Marc Cucurella to Manchester United. So, maybe that's the most likely candidate, I suppose. That could be a possibility, particularly in a loan capacity. It's also known that Ten Hag does like Cucurella from previous experiences playing against him. And it's also known that Tagliafico is well liked by Erik Ten Hag because of his time, obviously, at Ajax there. So, you know, Fabrizio says Man United have asked about Nicolas Tagliafico today. United also have a link with Spinazzola. We can pop that up on the screen as well. So there's many reports from Italy. Gianluca Di Marzio reporting that United have inquired about Leonardo Spinazzola. It is what it is, really, guys. We're linked to a left back. We need a left back. Short-term deal. Perhaps we are trying to bring in somebody that can contend with the starting space in the squad as well. Like, we just assume that Luke Shaw's the one. But Luke Shaw is kind of hit and miss. I rate Luke Shaw, but he's not, like, elite or anything. He's a good player. And he's certainly a solid defender. And he's also very good going forward when it comes to crossing the ball in and creating chances. He's a good player. He's a good player. But is he Dennis Irwin? Is he Patrice Evra? Is he Ashley Cole? No, he's not. So if we can improve upon that area, then we should. Lewis, thank you very much for getting in here with your super chat, lad. He's got a 1.99 super chat in there. Thank you very much indeed. He says, Shaw's faking an injury so he can play the new COD. Says Lewis, do you reckon that's what it is? He's just hanging back so he can eat a lot of pies and play COD. That's interesting, lad. Yeah, it's a fair point, Mark Harris. Why not give opportunities to people like Alvaro Fernandez, who seem to look pretty good in pre-season, physically looks pretty good for a youngster as well, could maybe do a decent job. It's a chance. Give him a chance. Obviously, I guess Ten Hag doesn't think he can do it. But I agree. I'm with you. I don't know why we haven't maybe given one or two more opportunities to some youngsters, particularly the left back now we've got an injury, rather than go out and sign a player. But hey, there you go. We've only got Shaw and Malacia there, who are proper left backs, senior left backs, and they are both injured at the moment for a significant amount of time. So I suppose we do have to look at this and try and get somebody in. Just on the other side of the wing back spot, and also defensively, just an update on Pavard. So it does look like he will be going to Inter now. He was linked to Manchester United for a good few weeks, but because of the inability to get rid of Maguire, it seems like we can't spend the money to get Pavard, which is just plain wrong. But this is what Fab said earlier on today, that Inter are now confident to get Benjamin Pavard deal done. Direct contacts with Bayern ongoing right now. Talks advancing well to make the deal happen today on a €30 million fee plus 2 million in add-ons. So they're doing business for defenders, but we're not. We're absolutely abysmal when it comes to trying to actually sign players we need. Matthew Smith, thank you for the slice of pie there, my son. Go on, what's that? That looks like a rhubarb pie, mate. Don't know, cherry pie? That looks nice, bro. It's making me moist. Thank you very much, Matthew Smith, for the super sticker. I do appreciate that, lad. Nice one, nice one. Absolute Don. Okay, so that's the left-back news that we've discussed there. We're expecting that one of those choice of 5 players there is on the short list, and we probably will go and get one of them. Maybe the most likely is Cucurella at this stage, as we've had contact. If not him, then perhaps Tagliafico has emerged as a possible player to come in. So I would be happy with either, to be honest. I don't think there's anything wrong with having strength in depth, especially when we have got injury issues that we've got right now. United need to get a left back, but we also need to get a central midfielder and a number 9 to back up Højbjerg. We're still lacking massively in those areas. So really, we need 3 more players coming in this window. I don't see us actually doing it. Sheikh Haddy says, do you believe we'll get anyone big? I think we'll probably just meander and get like one gash midfielder, maybe a lone left back. Guys, how many players do you think we'll sign between now and deadline day? So just a few days left. I'd like to say 3 or 4, but honestly, I think 2, one of which will probably be a loan, one of which will probably be a permanent transfer of a midfielder who's pretty mediocre, somebody like a Højbjerg. Who knows? I've not got too much faith in United to do the business now. David says, 1... a lone left back and that goalkeeper. Oh, yeah, that's that goalkeeper Bayender as well. Travis says 2. Welshred says 15. Claire says 2. 2. Just something. Minus none. Sadly, yeah. 3 says United. Unfortunately, you're probably right, guys. It's not realistic that we go and go massively into the transfer market and spend loads of money because of what's happened with the owners, and they're just shite, and we've spent 170 mil. That's probably then done for the year. It does depend on us selling players, though. So if we can sell Maguire, which we can't, if we can sell McTominay, which we probably can't, we could go and sign more players. It's about generating cash. Also, look, here's another interesting link today. Take it with a pinch of salt, but there are some reports coming out that suggest that Besiktas have started negotiations to sign Mason Greenwood. So, look, obviously we know the future of Mason Greenwood is not at Manchester United now. That means his future's elsewhere. United don't just want to cut their losses on this guy and get him gone with a mutual termination or anything, or terminate his contract and pay him off, because that would cost us a lot of money. He's still a very good player who can be a good asset for another team. And there may be a team out there who can forget about the non-footballing side of things. Let's face it, he was never found guilty in the court of law or anything. They can forget about that side of things and just allow him somewhere to play football. And that particular team that is involved could be getting themselves an absolute star youngster, a player who is just a great youngster who can go and play somewhere, you know, that's probably below him, if we're being honest, because none of the real top profile teams, more than likely, of this world are going to be interested in Mason Greenwood now, but they would have been a couple of years ago. But now Mason Greenwood kind of has to go and play for some of the lower echelon sides now. He kind of does, like Besiktas, for instance. Nothing wrong with Besiktas. They're a good standard European side, but at the same time, they're not Barcelona, Real Madrid, Inter, or any of these guys. They're a good Turkish side, but that's it. So, you know, it means that they can get themselves a real great player who will help out big time, and can be a really great player for them for not just now, but for many years. For many years indeed. So, look, let's see if that can be done. I mean, I don't think it's going to be a great deal of money involved, but it could be 30 or 40 million pounds that United might be able to get. And from Mason Greenwood's point of view, what does he want to do? Does he just want to collect his paycheck and not play football? He's only 21. Surely he wants to get away from all this hatred and vitriol and abuse that's bandied his way as well. Because in England, it's going to be rife. You know, whereas if he goes to a different league, somewhere abroad, gets his head down, plays regular football, with time, this sort of bad part of his life can pass with time. If he just gets his head down, focuses on being a better human being and a better player, time will pass and people, you know, have short memories, really. And he could, in a few years' time, be a totally different person, totally different player. And this could be really good for him. He needs to go somewhere and play, though. So it's just like dependent on if any team's out there crazy enough to actually bid for him. If there is, then we should absolutely try and sell him for as much money as we possibly can. We've developed this guy from a youngster. It's not our fault what's happened, obviously, as a club. We shouldn't just terminate the deal and pay him off, because that means we get nothing. We should try and get as much as we can. That way we can reinvest that money into another player. Now, if that amount of money is £20 million that we can get for him, I guess it's better than a kick in the anus. And if we can get £30 million, fantastic. If we can get £40 million, brilliant. But he's not worth a heck of a lot because of the PR nightmare that surrounds him, unfortunately. But there you go. I mean, obviously, we'll see if he's saleable. It does depend on if there's a club out there willing to take him on. And that's a big if because of the whole stigma that's attached to Mason. But this is a report that's come out that suggests that Besiktas have started negotiations to sign Mason Greenwood. Let's hope it's true. Let's hope it's true. We're not going to get into the whole keep, sell, is he innocent, is he guilty debacle of the conversation right now. Just wanted to talk about this headline because, you know, it could generate us a lot of cash to be able to go and buy another player. I guess United could do a bit of business between now and the end of the window if we can sell some of the big money players in our squad. Look, if we get rid of Eric Bailly and people like that, it's not going to do anything for us in terms of being able to add to the transfer kitty to buy new players. But in an ideal world, and we don't live in an ideal world, we live in a Glazer shithouse world, but in an ideal world, we'd sell McTominay, we'd sell Maguire for a combined at least £60 million, we'd sell Mason Greenwood for another £30 million. That gives us £90 million. That way we could sign a striker, we could sign a midfielder, we could sign a left back. You know, that could happen easily if we could get rid of those few players. So still holding out some hope that we can get rid of McTominay and Maguire and Greenwood. And if we do that, there's no excuses for not going to sign lots of good players between now and the end of the window. But it won't happen, guys, because Maguire doesn't want to leave. He's too big bollocks. He's on huge money. and he's a complete charter, and he knows he's onto a winner at United with the money. Doesn't want to lower himself by going to play for a good team like West Ham. Oh no, he'll just quite happily sit on United's bench collecting 200 grand a week. And Scott McTominay, well, he might have gone somewhere. We don't know that he doesn't want to go and play elsewhere, but United too greedy on that one and asked for way too much cash when we could have got Scotty McTominay sold to West Ham for 30 million just a few weeks ago. So that's a big shame. And then the Greenwood situation, well, who knows if he's saleable or not? Who knows if anybody actually wants him because of the issues that represent themselves by having him in your side and to go for him. So we'll see. But there is a potential that we could sell those three players and generate nearly £100 million. Right then, okay. That's basically the latest news. I'm going to just go into the rundown of what we've discussed in this video. As always, smash the like button, subscribe if new, give us a retweet. We're going to go over and check out all the reposters on Twitter in a minute and shout you all out. Thanks all you legends who help us out by sharing the show. And also, you know, subscribe if you want to get involved in the live chat. We will have a Q&A for 5-10 minutes now and hear your thoughts and opinions about anything we discussed in this video. So make sure you subscribe and get involved in the live chat. Do have your say. What's going on there, Flying Pig United Extra, aka Mr. Jamza Highlights? How you doing? We got a super chat, have we, Aussie? I missed it. Thank you, Aussie Gamola, bro. Madhouse, hello. Madhouse, hello. What's going on? Madhouse says, if Maguire was your son, what would you tell him? I'd say, you know what, Harry Maguire? How dare you do that to your mother when you came out? You know what I'm saying? How dare you do that to your mother when you came out, mate? You know what I'm saying? No, I'm joking. That's harsh, isn't it? But I would say, listen, Maguire, stay at United and collect the 200 grand a week. You ain't getting anything better elsewhere, mate. You know what I mean? I like my holidays in Mauritius. Please stay at Manchester United, collect that 200k a week. Don't go nowhere, pal. That's what I'd tell him if he was my son. Anyway, because he's shite and he's not going to get a better deal elsewhere, is he? Right, anyway, okay. Bet that was a painful birth. The most painful, David Watkins. Crikey, the most painful. He didn't have a C-section. He had his mum had to have a bloody Z-section. You know what I'm saying? Goodness me. Anyway, no. Right, sorry, that's harsh, mate. What am I talking about? Mrs. Maguire's done nothing. You know what I'm saying? It's not her fault. Right, anyway, right, guys. Okay, I'm going to do a rundown of what we discussed very quickly for anybody who's just getting in here at the end. Then I'll go and shout out all the tweeters. Then we will get into the chat. So Højbjerg talks at the moment on with Manchester United and his representatives. Apparently he's been offered to Manchester United. Lots of different outlets reporting that Højbjerg is of interest to United and that he has been offered to us from his reps, essentially. So Dharmesh Sheth from Sky Sports reporting that United continue to assess midfield options and are still looking to recruit in that area in the final few days of the window. Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, oh, Danish friends, has emerged as the latest potential option, with United being offered the chance to speak to the player. So he could be on the cards. It's obviously not the most interesting or exciting of transfers, but it's possible we could get him as somewhat of a surprise signing. Surprise being that, well, we've been linked all summer long to Amrabat and we could have gone for him, but in the end we go with Højbjerg, a bang average, mediocre Premier League player. But there you go, spud reject, not the best. We've also got links with other players in that area still, like Gravenberch is still linked. Obviously, Amrabat is still linked to Manchester United, so we'll see if anything can materialise in that central midfield position. In regards to a central midfielder that could be going out, Scott McTominay is still wanted by Bayern München, apparently. I don't know why, but apparently they're interested. But United seemingly have a price tag on Scott McTominay's head of £45 million. You what? Asking for way too much cash there, no doubt. It's a joke. It's a disgrace and a nonsense. Roy Keane would literally be throwing punches at Scott McTominay if he was playing in the same side as him. So, yeah, don't know why we're asking for so much money. We're just pricing him out of a move. If that's the case, which it seems like it is due to rejecting West Ham's offer previously, we are melters. And then we are looking at a left-back, 5 different left-backs on the shortlist. Understandably, Marcus Alonso, Tagliafico, Cucurella, also Sergio Reguilon and Spinazzola are different options to come in. That's due to an injury crisis that we have at the moment. Ten Hag not willing to give the youngsters opportunities like Alvaro Fernandez. Obviously, Diogo Dalot is an option at left-back, but then what happens if Wan-Bissaka gets injured on the right? We don't have the strength in depth there. It's just not good enough. So I think we do need to bring in a left-back, to be fair, at this moment. It looks like Malacia is going to be out longer as well. Now, there's some news come out today that he could be out for even longer than Luke Shaw. So in terms of injuries, we do have a bit of a problem over at the left-back position. I say get Tagliafico in or get Cucurella in. It does look like Cucurella is probably the most advanced at this stage. So we have a report from Fabrizio Romano that says that we are in discussions with Chelsea at the moment to try and bring him in some sort of loan capacity, more than likely. So contacts took place again today regarding Marc Cucurella to Manchester United. So that does look like it's maybe got the most steam behind it at the minute. But it's known that Ten Hag does like Tagliafico as well because of the previous links with the Dutch League friends. You know what I'm saying? In the Dutch League and all that sort of thing with Ajax. So that could also be a possibility. And then also the big, horrible bombshell, gashtastic news of the day surrounding Harry Maguire has surfaced, which is that West Ham have decided to leave the race for Harry Maguire as things stand after trying again but getting no green light from Manchester United. He's no longer on West Ham's list. And I think that's because they wanted him on loan after the player and United were not able to reach an agreement with a settlement fee. So they decided to try and go in for him on loan. United don't want to let him go on loan because we want money for him so we can reinvest it and to get this turd flushed off of our books. So we're not prepared to just let him go out on loan. So it doesn't seem like it's possible to get rid of this guy at the moment. He's too big bonnets and he wants to stay and fight for his place in the side. Unreal. And then the last news, which we were just discussing, is that there are reports that Besiktas have opened up discussions to potentially sign Mason Greenwood. As we've discussed, Greenwood could generate us good cash. He's a player that is not going to have a future at Manchester United now. That has been confirmed by the club. So it's just about signing another player, another replacement, another forward player to help out Højbjerg, really. And if we can generate 30 or 40 million for Greenwood, happy days. Get him gone, move on, just draw a line underneath it, and then try and get somebody else to replace. So those are the big headlines of the afternoon, guys. We will be back on, of course, later on in the day tonight with the updates for the evening show as well, around about 10 p.m. And if there's any big breaking news before then, we'll jump on and discuss it also. But now it's time for me to go over to Twitter and shout out all the reposters. Links at the top of the live chat. Do give us a share. It helps the channel out. Then we'll get into the chat for 5 minutes or so, see what you legends are saying. So we've had 21 retweets on Twitter. Thank you so much to Anthony Ong and Guyam Legend. Big love to you, legends. Also, we've got a lot of retweets. Aaron Homeyard, Ryan Burberspin 9, Stephen Braun, Compost Smurf, The Goat Richard Wisterpeg, Ryan Downton, Thugger 007, Francois Koch, David Watkins, Michael Paul, Tommy Boyle, Devils Are Red, Jaden, Jim D64, Feline Fur, J United and Gaming, United Mark, Duncan Belifo, Boomy, and MMCG 2022. Thank you so much to you legends and legendesses out there for sharing the show. It does go a long way. It does help us spread the word and to get a couple more people watching. So thanks so much for doing that. And everyone else, give us a follow on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Twitch, and Kick at Flying Pig United. Links are in the description. Right, I'm going to get into the chat now. Make sure you're subscribed if you want to have your say. Hit the sub up. It's free to subscribe. That's the one down below that says subscribe. And also, twat the likes on it. Let's see if we can get 200 by the end of the show. Right, let's see what you guys are saying. Why are you bringing up Darwin Punez in this live chat for? Hell yeah, Travis. Update from Build on McTominay says United. Interesting. Let's take a little look at this then. Thank you for giving us the updates here, bro. I appreciate it. So, you just get it in the chat then. What are they saying? I can't be asked to go and look for it. What are they saying? They saying Bayern Munchen still interested in him? That's probably what they're saying, right? Tommy says, read an article saying that Ten Hag has been very hands-on with the under-21s and picked a few to train with the first team. I think we're more likely to see squad progression that way rather than seeing new signings. Good shout, Tommy. I think it was a big blow that Kobbie Mainoo got injured when he did, because I feel like Ten Hag had earmarked him as being one of the players to come in this season properly. The wing areas are sorted with the youngsters. We've got Pellistri and Garnacho, who seem to have reasonable roles in Man United's side under Ten Hag so far. I don't know why he's not really given maybe one or two others an opportunity, though, I have to say. I think maybe one or two others could have been utilised. Perhaps Alvaro Fernandez would have made a lot of sense. Nunes is a long-haired string of piss, says Matthew Smith. Mate, to be fair, he is a bit, isn't he? He is a bit. Let's face it. I'm so gutted he came on the pitch the other day and scored those 2 late goals for Liverpool. And also because I took him out of my fantasy football side the literally a couple of days before, which was annoying. I thought, this twat's not going to score anything ever again. And then he scored 2. So what a double twat. No, Alonso's not a United player. No, he's a murderer, mate. We don't sign murderers at this football club, I don't think. Mainu would play better than Casemiro. Mainu's going to play a lot this season. I still think he will. He's obviously injured. That was not a good timing for him, but I do think that he will play him. So, you know, in terms of youngsters, Ten Hag will play the youngsters. He's not just going to go play a bunch of kids. Obviously, he's going to bring a few through. Garnacho is only a 19-year-old, isn't he? Palistri's what, 18? Palistri's very young as well. How old's Palistri, guys? He's young as well. And then you've got, of course, Kobbie Mainoo is really young. So he's going to give opportunities to these guys. He's not expected to, you know, dip in and play 5-6 youth players every single game. That's just unrealistic. You need the good mix of youth and experience. But certainly a few players brought through this season is what we need. The fact that United have only really brought through 2 or 3 youth players over the last 3 or 4 or 5 years is unacceptable. You know, Rashford's come through, obviously, you know, and Greenwood came through, obviously. But beyond that, there's not really that many. Now we're starting to see a little bit more. Garnacho, Palistri, of course. These players are coming through. But, yeah, Kobbie Mainoo. It'd be nice to see a little bit more. But he can't really bring through that many players all at one time. We aren't just swapping Scott for Graven Birch. Hang on a second, my brother's calling me. Wait a second. You alright, mate? How's it going?
Alright, mate. How you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. What are you up to?
Just leaving the pub. Was hoping for a little lift.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm just on my video. I'll literally end it now then, and I'll come and get you and Sophie. No worries. It's alright. I'm not...
The video just for us?
Yeah, I mean, I was basically near the end of the video anyway, so it's all good. Say hello to a bunch of people right now.
Hello, everybody.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm
Nice one.
live. I'm live. I'm not... what time is it?
It's 2:26.
Oh, perfect. I'm not half in the bag at 2:26.
No, it's all good. Yeah, no, it's all good.
There's no alcohol being drunk at lunchtime.
Liquid lunch, it's all good.
Right. How long do you think you'll be? Because we're walking down a Broadstone wreck.
Okay, I'll be about 10 minutes, I reckon. Give me 10.
Alright.
Nice one.
Well, just let me know when you're leaving. Okay.
Okay, alright, I'll meet you at the wreck, that wreck, yeah? I'll just go.
But call me just...
I'll just go in there. I'll just go in there.
Okay. Bye.
Alright, mate, nice one. See you in a bit. Bye. What a liberty. What an absolute liberty. No, I'm just joking. That's my brother. He's here, obviously, for a wedding, so he's here for this week. And obviously this morning we went to go and collect my mother's ashes and stuff, and I dropped them off at the pub. I wanted to come back here and get on and do some work because I don't drink. And I don't really like being in pubs at the moment because of that. And so, and also... so I just dropped them off, and yeah, they said they were going to walk back, but I guess they've bottled that idea. So yeah, so I'm going to go get them now, guys, to save a bit of time. But there you go. I better wrap this video up then, guys. But thank you so much, everyone, for getting in here. I do appreciate you all. Big love to all the moderators. Big love to all the members. It is Tom. Yes, it is. The tactician himself. Big up, yeah. Okay, so I'm going to go and do that then, guys. I'll be back later on with the news. Thank you so much, everyone, for getting in here. Appreciate you. Have a great day. Thank you, Marky Harris. Yeah, it is the same old shit under the Glazers shithouses, unfortunately. Let's get a hashtag Glazers out. It's a disgrace. We need to do some proper business this summer, not just shop around in the bargain bin basement because of those Glazers shitbags. But I've got to finish now, guys. Drop a like on this video before you go. Come back afterwards and get your thoughts and opinions in about anything we've discussed. Make sure you drop a subscribe. Drop a follow on all these social medias. Thank you, Gungshi and everyone. Drop a follow on all the social medias. Links in the live chat. Cheers, Travadinho, my friend. Gungshi, First Class, Madhouse, all the members like Chris, Superstar, Sir Jimmy, United Duncan. Thanks for supporting the show. All the moderators like Marky Harris and Gungshi and Berber and everybody. Thanks for getting in. That's it from me. Tommy Boyle, have a good one. Flying Pig United Extra as well. Oh, yes, guys. Go over and subscribe to the Extras channel. Flying Pig United Extra. I'll pin it to the live chat. Make sure you subscribe to the Clips channel. If you're not, you're missing out. There it is at the top of the chat. Nice one. Okay, guys, see you in a bit. Thanks for watching. I'll be back on tonight at 10 p.m. as a minimum, maybe even sooner if there's breaking news. Piggy loves you. Have a good one, and remember, when the seagulls follow the trawler, as this is because they think sardines will be thrown into the sea. Thank you very much.